the first month? Even, or were you down?
Oh, I didn't make a profit the first 2 months, but it just takes time for the Facebook algorithm to learn. And I knew I jumped around so many times that I was like, okay, I'm staying here. I'm going to make this work no matter what. This is like the last shot. So, but yeah, 2 months in, and it like literally on the first week of the third month, it finally clicked in.
Number one, we're working.
Yeah.
We're putting in the time, and we're doing something good for these clients out there. And then on top of that, I mean, we don't have to talk all day long, but I know he's okay. I know he's good. I know he's moving towards his goals, and
yeah,
that's an important part.
So it's like you're hanging out with them too, while making money.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's like so I'm super competitive too. I'll give you a perfect example today. So I'm talking to Albert. I'm like, kind of where we're at for the week. I think we're pretty close as around the same point now where we really want to be. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna work Friday, Saturday. And this man, the jammer right here, goes, yeah, no, I'll probably work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's like, bro, there ain't no more days. I can't top that. It just rolls right back into Monday. But that's the stuff that really, like, I'm not telling people to have this like I have to win all the time mentality. If you want to, I think that's great. But like, be competitive. Like, at the end of the day, there's so many people in this industry that flap their jaw about how good they are in sales. There's so many people that just flap their jaw. I'm so good. Dude, numbers don't lie. So that person that you may not like or appreciate or want to listen to, on paper, that dude is way better than you. So it's like, make it competitive. Like, get out there, do what you have to, and you got to treat it like a full-time job. And that's kind of like what I've been learning is like, the beginning of the month, I think I was just trying to get acclimated, like doing stuff. And then starting on Monday, not gonna lie, dude, Monday was a really long day for me. I made almost every single day this week. And so Monday, Tuesday, I was zonked. Like, I was like, oh my God. And then today I woke up for the first time and I was like, I don't really feel like doing this. I've done 2 days. But then I got up and did it on Wednesday and I made 3 sales. I talked to 4 people, so I closed 3 out of 4. But I'm just rolling. It's just part of my job. Like, I'm talking to people. I'm talking smack to Albert, talking trash to whoever, like just having fun, And for me, like I told Albert, like I'm working until 7 or 8 o'clock every day. That's just what I'm going to do. Like, if I have my manager looking over my shoulder being like, you can't leave until 7 o'clock, that's what I'm doing. And that's such a positive reinforcement to kind of go along with the video that, that John had showed that being here before this. I think Albert sent it to him. But it's like, you have to make yourself uncomfortable. At the point at which I'm uncomfortable is at the point at which I'm exactly where I need to be. That's how I look at things. So it's kind of cool to see, because I know me and Albert are getting the groove of things now, where this is just kind of becoming fun and second nature, because we're starting to make that correlation between time, dials, and helping family, which in turn makes me a little more financially stable, which is a really cool connection,
Just to add to that, the video we were talking about, it's you can YouTube it. It's on Andy Frisella, episode 108. He just talks about the inconvenience of being successful.
There's a smidgen of profanity in it, just like 1 or 2 words you might hear.
He says a little F-bomb here and there.
Yeah, fun. Uses that word fun,
But yeah, just to recap about the video, that he just talks about everything's inconvenient. Nothing's going to be ever perfect in this business. Okay, so if you wait, you take your time, it'll never happen. So you got to learn to work through the inconvenience. So what is inconvenient? Dialing, waking up early, unmuting, being on video. These things, if you can live in that moment, you can work on that. It's what's going to get us the sale. What's inconvenient? Asking for a referral after you made a sale. Why is it inconvenient? We're just forgetting because we want to wrap it up. But that question for 1 second can lead you 2 to 3 sales. So these little things, if we continue to get better, it's a new skill. It's a new mental work grit that we're going to develop in our discipline.
Yeah, success is never supposed to be convenient. I mean, but this is the thing. For those of you guys, if you guys are watching this or listening to this and thinking, oh, that sounds very unappealing to be like on working all day long, for whatever, which it's not all day. It's really not all day long.
Yeah.
Because you have no teacher saying like, hey, you can't go to the restroom. You can't go grab lunch. Like, you're an adult. But the thing is, that accountability is important because, you're just on there all day. You get a chance to, when it comes to inconvenience, like I used to think like, hey, it'd be very inconvenient for me to start selling again because I'm busy doing this, that, and the other. right? I'm trying to run my business. I'm trying to do all these different things. When I got to the point when I was like, you know what, this is what I need in this phase of my business at this point. I'm just going to start selling again. I was like, all right, got to commit to the live dials. And it seemed very inconvenient in my head.
Yeah.
But I'm like, now I lose all my freedom. I can't go and work remotely here and go and do that, go and do this, because, I'm supposed to be set up on my live dials all day. But in the process of doing that, I realized, you know what? It's actually not inconvenient. Yeah. It's actually, that discipline's actually providing me more freedom. Because the thing is, I know I'm going to work during these hours. I know exactly where I'm going to be. I can still do other things as I'm, dialing in between, and at the end of the day, when I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? So, I'm also encouraging anyone, if you have any questions as far as anything, like when people call me, I'm like, just get on the live dials. I'll tell you there.
Yeah.
Because like, why do I need to make additional time to handle things I could be handling, during business hours?
Right.
So, hopefully some of that will appeal to some of you guys. Hopefully you guys will see, or at the very least, even if it doesn't appeal to you yet, see the importance of it, because we want you guys to all win. We want you guys to all do well, and it's not going to happen without it.
Yeah. More importantly too, it's a matter of, showing up, right?
Yes.
Whether you're dialing or not, once you start seeing these people making sales and you start questioning yourself, I'm like, why am I not working?
Yep.
Let me pick up the phone at least one time. At least let me see. Let me go dial one or two, right? It gets you productive.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I just liked how it's just like, yeah, like we're all independent, but we're not alone on the live dials. That's like the best part. So you can be anywhere, even on the East Coast, like Trent over here. But yeah, just together, like an actual cohesive unit. It's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty funny too. Me, JP, and Derek, like, what was it, Tuesday night?
Oh yeah,
it was weaning out the day. We found out there's like Zoom filters and stuff.
So like a mustache and he was wearing a little bandana. Yeah.
So I think you have fun. You know, it doesn't have to be a sucky situation where you feel like, I got to dial, I got to call because I need to make money. Mm-hmm. You know, you can make it fun.
Yep.
Yeah, and then one thing that we have been doing is just like Maya came on for a little bit and she said, "Hey, I can't ever reach this client." Now, I'll call her. So I called her and I'm pretending to be her personal assistant. And
yeah.
So I mean, you get there's a lot of help that you can grab from there if you're willing to participate yourself.
Yeah, that's even better too, because if you feel like you lost the lead, you lost the sale, let someone else take a shot at it. Yep. Right? They've already been prepped, quoted. Maybe they just didn't like you or didn't bond with you. You can still do a split sale if you need to.
Exactly.
Well, appreciate you jumping on real quick, Trent.
Yeah, big dog, no problem.
I'll see you on there this weekend.
Hey, brother, I'll see you on there, Road Warrior. Let's go.
In 30 minutes, be back.
All right, so back to you, Derek.
Okay.
All right, so as you went through your struggle for the 2 years or so, or did not to the level of success that you were desiring.
Yeah.
Did you think about quitting?
No, actually. No. I mean, I knew that like, you hear that, 8% of insurance agents are actually going to make it. I was not going to be that
8%. Is that the
that's the statistic. Yeah. So I was not going to be that 92. And, especially like around you guys, I don't know. I don't know if it was pride or just like the determination not to quit.
Yeah. Well,
just like,
can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, like, yeah.
Did you think we're going to clown you, or you didn't want to leave this group? What was your thoughts?
I feel like it was everything, to be honest. It was just like, I like the group that, like you guys as individuals, friends, business associates, everything. And then I just didn't want to be like, we see it happen all the time. Oh, whatever happened to this person? Oh yeah, they quit. And then they just like fade off in the distance. And that is not something I wanted to be.
You feel like you didn't want to get lumped in with certain associates that left the company?
Nah, not so much, whatever, but maybe. I don't know.
That joking aside, the thing is, having relationships is important in this business. If you really want to grow your business to another level, or because the thing is, you're never going to always have good days every single day. You're not going to it's not going to be a good time every single moment that you're working. You're going to have your ups and downs.
Yes.
There's no other way around it. You're probably going to have some good days, some bad days. But what keeps you going is the fact that, number one, if you can't take a step back and see the bigger picture on your own, which you probably should, if you really want to do something big, you need to be able to understand the bigger picture so you can piece these things together. But if you're not at that point yet, you're just trying to make it through the day.
Yeah.
And to make it through the day, then you got to be around other people that'll give you some encouragement.
Yep.
And actually, let me interrupt that real quick. I just want to take a moment real quick. John and I lost one of our friends. Like she passed a couple weeks ago, a week ago,
like
week and a half ago.
Like last Saturday, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a friend that she was at her previous company, and she's a year younger than I am. She was one of the first people that I met, when I got there, because that was my first time in sales.
Yep.
I remember that feeling. I remember that day. So I was like, okay, I'm confident in my ability to be able to learn something new, but do I really want to do this? Is this really for me? And I was sitting there. It was my first day, and people were doing dials. I'm just sitting around like watching everybody. And she comes up and she introduces herself, and then she's like talking to me, and then I'm just like, she was one of those person. I don't want to put this in the wrong way, but I'm like, oh, she could do it. I could do this, right? And I don't mean it as disrespect, but I'm just thinking like she was not a prototypical salesperson.
Yeah.
Right. Fair assessment.
Right. Actually, when I started, she's one of the friendliest people. Our main manager gave me the chance to follow her and field train with her. And it was just so easy the way she did it. So, I mean, yeah, easy, nothing to take away from her, but nothing to the point where it was an extremely like skilled ability, right? Like top pro type. But yeah, we learned a lot from her.
Yeah. So that gave me a lot of confidence, gave me a lot of belief that, okay, I think I can do this because she told me she'd been there for a couple of years. And I'm like, oh, so if you can make it, because if she said like, I've been here for 30 days, I'm doing really well. I'm like, well, we'll see, a month or two later from now, if this still persists. But she's able to do that for a couple of years. And, so anyway, back to our friend Andrea, which she passed. So we heard the news. I was at a wedding. I got some text messages from friends. I had a friend that tried to call me, but she's like, I don't want to ruin your experience at the wedding. So, and then, when I found out, I was in utter disbelief. And I was like, no, I'm like, you're kidding. And then like, it just got to the point where I'm like, she's a year younger than I am. So I'm like, that could have easily been me. And, which is a very selfish thing to do in those moments. Cause when someone passes, you're thinking like, oh, terrible for that person, terrible for the family. And like, that could have been me.
Yeah, it's really a reality hitting in the face. Like we're in that age group, man. Like things can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it can happen to anybody of any age, but as you get older, it starts to become more and more prevalent, becomes a more commonplace thing. So, which, goes back to the point of, if you have an opportunity like this, it's important for you to build a community around you or get into a community, because it's that important to the skills that you're going to learn, the things you're going to pick up, and also in a very weird way, it's going to help you with your belief. Just because sometimes if you're low on personal belief that you can do it, someone else might have enough for you.
Yeah.
Right. Someone else might be able to share that with you. And I feel like on the live dials, like if you're feeling like you don't want to do it, but you're like, everyone else is doing it. Everyone else is watching me. I haven't got on yet. I haven't unmuted myself. It might push you to do it just a little bit more, and then just borrow that confidence until you get it.
Yeah. Or just like Derek too, your pride will take you there. Right. Sometimes you see somebody else doing better than you, when you can be doing better for yourself. That pride will take you up there. It'll elevate you.
Yeah. Or you'll lose sleep.
Until
you get there.
So sorry for the tangent, but back to your story. So you never really thought about quitting, because sometimes John and I would talk. We're like, he's still here, and you
guys talk about
all the time. She's kidding me.
What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, because we couldn't figure it out, because we're like, he knows how to communicate. He's a likable guy. He's putting in the work. He buys leads. Like, I just don't get it.
I don't get it either. I didn't. Now I do.
All right. So now flash forward. Now we're at the point which Derek got it. So he just helped about 9-10 families last week and a half.
Yeah.
Especially holidays, last 10 days.
Yeah.
Last 12 days.
We liked it. It's good. Yeah, it was good week and a half or so. But it definitely changed, definitely clicked. So now I'm a lot more direct with that. And just focused. Stay focused. This is the year. 2023 is the year. That's the last time I'll say that. This is my year.
But you also had a change in environment, right?
I did. Yes. Change in environment, change in, leads, changing everything, to be
You're
honest.
relocated.
Yes. I went from Vegas to San Diego, living there with my girl now. So it's like,
Moved in.
Yeah. Wifed up.
Wifed up, domesticated. So do you feel like she gives you a little bit of a push too?
Yeah. So it's like, she's going to be, she's going to be it. So it's like, I'm working toward a goal rather than just, something for myself now. So it's, not that like I myself am not, motivated for me, but now that somebody else shares in that and it's kind of, going to be a part of me, moving forward, I want it to be good for both of us. So it's like, this is really the time now where, got to make up for a lot of lost time.
Plus when rent's due.
They don't care what you do. They just want that money.
Which I mean, that's a valid point for all of us. If you guys have financial responsibilities, which we all do.
Yeah.
I mean, why aren't you more motivated to work? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
It changes your dynamic now because it's bigger than you now, right?
Way bigger than me. Yeah. So now like just getting by is not enough. So those couple policies is not going to cut it. Now it's a lot more.
Okay. So let's actually talk about the process then. So what is it that you've done differently? Did you try a different lead source? Are you working different hours? Are you calling a different way? Did you magically find the secret?
Yeah. So the secret sauce, well, we can't tell everybody what the actual, I'm joking. No. So, I mean, I just got, excuse me. I changed over to a different lead source. So I'm just doing targeted Facebook ads now. Like I had mentioned earlier, I'm a vet myself. So I only work, I target vets and their families. I know know a lot more about the VA, which it's a lot more than just, they'll give you $395 for your burial. It's a lot deeper than that. So
did you do independent research on that?
Yeah, a lot of research on that.
Nice.
There are multiple times that the VA will offer you insurance. A couple different times they'll pay for it for free, but it's a lot deeper than just what we thought.
There's you have to be in service, honorable discharge,
SGLI, SVLI. A lot of the military loves their acronyms, so there's a lot of learning. Luckily, I kind of knew a little bit about it, but so yeah, just work with them. Again, having the vet background myself, it's easy to say, hey, this is what it is. Like, I'm not trying to steer you wrong here. I wasn't lucky enough to do this. You weren't either. I know you aren't. So let's fix it. Yeah. And then as far as hours though, I wrote in a schedule. It's just 8 to 6, So, I mean, I'll eat kind of while I'm listening to dials or like maybe turn my camera off and watch a YouTube video, but for like a couple seconds of a break. But yeah, just being a lot more focused on working.
Yeah. And then, I mean, obviously these type of leads, if you're working with veterans, you being a veteran yourself, which thank you for your service. Do you feel like it's helped you with your closing because you can speak with a little bit more conviction?
Yeah. That a lot more blunt, to be honest, as well. It's just like, yeah, I mean, all of it really. It's just coming from a place of caring for them, just being one myself. So, and they can kind of pick up on that.
Plus also military guys can't be that sensitive.
Yeah.
I mean, they can, obviously. I mean, they're humans, but they've been through that before.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you're saying, you're doing targeted ads, targeted Facebook ads, which means you're buying leads, right? Yeah,
that's another thing is that lead bill is coming no matter what now. So, I don't know if there's a way you can do it in other things to just automatically buy your leads, but having that, hey, this is going to come, like I have to work for it, or it's just a complete waste of money because they're just going to sit there.
Yeah. Commitment wise, what are you committing monthly on lead bill?
Right now, I'm spending about $1,300 a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm at right now. Looking to bump it up, once now that things have kind of changed, I'll have like another month of this, gain some capital and then increase my ad spend for Facebook. So
you're not going to be content with this.
No, definitely not. We'll see. We're going to ramp it up a lot.
Good.
As much as I can, at least, because I mean, now that it's just rent and myself, I'm just going to, again, make up for lost time.
On average right now, then, just even on the 10 days, you're saying, you helped about 9-10 families, spent about 13 to 2,600 in leads in a week and a half, right? Yeah. So you're turning in about a 4-to-1 return of investment. Mm-hmm. But what's your schedule? What's your action now? Because you are spending money on leads, how many appointments are you having booked? How many presentations? How many sits are you having?
Yeah. So virtual sales in itself, like they're just going to tell you, I mean, everybody says, oh, it's 50% show ratio. That changes. Some days I'll have like a I'll have like 2 people out of 10 show up, and obviously they were booked bad. Obviously that's not good.
Yeah.
And the other day, I believe I had 12 out of 15 show up for the day. So that was a lot better. And then that was a huge day. I helped 4-ish families that day. So definitely looking to talk to at least 15 people a week now. That's like the goal. So booked appointments, whatever, but
30.
present. Yeah, definitely 30. I mean, I'd love to get into the 50, because being virtual, you can book them every 30 or every 15 minutes, really.
Yes. Yeah.
And then as soon as they don't show up, just call the next one.
Right.
So are you still doing all your own dials? You hire a virtual caller? Like what?
Yeah. So it's a mixture. So as the lead comes in through Facebook, they're going to be dialed by myself, by a dialer who is, trained up, but it's, about $800 a month for that. And then I'm also auto texted through Agent CRM, which is just one of the many platforms out there. I mean, there's TurboText, there's, all these other, Zepo.
Yep.
So it's a combination of the 3, and then they get dripped on if they don't answer me or the dialer over the next couple of weeks. It's all the texts are veterans focused and everything like that. So, so it's a mixture of all those together.
So, I mean, was it a conscious effort to hire a booker to help you with that, being that was your main struggle?
Yeah. I mean, I've tried it in the past and it didn't really work out. I've gone through a couple different dialers. I'm pretty sure I'm on I'm not pretty sure. I am on my second one already in the past couple of weeks. So, but it definitely helps, like showing up to work with booked appointments and then being like, okay, at least like if I completely fall on my face today for some reason, at least there's some saving grace that there's, people waiting to talk to me, because they'll book themselves too. Like today, the guy, 2 policies submitted today already.
Nice.
And one of the guys was like, yeah, I booked this because I really wanted it. Perfect. Like that's a client that I want, obviously.
Did you switch from one college to the other? Did you intentionally do that, or that's how it turned out?
For which one? I'm sorry.
Your caller, you had one caller, then you switched to a new caller. That's more effective.
Oh, yeah. The show ratio for the appointments booked for them was really low.
Fired her.
Yeah, then just switched, and it's been a lot better this last week and a half. So that works.
Yeah, and I bring that up because I think I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes we get stuck in our process, and then we're not truly, like we're not very honest with ourselves, and we're like, yeah, it's fine. Like it'll work itself out. But then after a while, if it doesn't work out, like you got to make a change.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I'm, even having a dialer, it's not the end all like solution, everything, because now being vets, of course, like, they're like, oh, America, and they're like, oh, some Filipino tried to call me, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, like calm down, like, hey,
did you actually get that?
Oh, I've got it. Oh yeah. I'm like, hey, look, they work for me just because they're from a different area. Like, come on, man. Don't be like that. So you got to kind of remind them that it's, well, they don't care. They're like, okay, well, you're American. I'll listen to you. Whatever.
I should have been like, that's my wife, man. I picked her up.
Yeah.
When I was stationed.
When I was over there. But,
But you did, from within a year to 2 years, for you to jump in and I would say really running this like a business now, because you have bills.
Mm-hmm.
How often were you buying leads before then? Like every other month, every other week, every 2 weeks?
And yeah, I was really, it's funny. Like I've watched so many YouTube videos on FFL, like, hey, buy leads every week. And I, for some reason, thought I was, oh no, these have more life in them, and I would just squeeze them and stretch them out. I don't know why. And I have agents that work with me as well, and I teach them not to do that, and I still did it myself. So I was just dumb, but not anymore.
So what made that jump? What got you to just click and says, okay, for me to be successful, 1, I need to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
2, I need to have people to talk to.
Yeah. And
things will work out from there. But you needed to create that investment, push for that investment.
Yeah. I mean, really, I would say I would go back to working with Talise, to be honest. There was some things we talked about there where, it got brought up. It was like, would everything be different if you had a check of X amount? And I ended up getting a check for X amount. Weird, oddly enough, a couple weeks later or a couple months later. And I was like, okay, well, I owe it to myself to make sure this works. So yeah, I could have bought a ton of things that I really wanted, but instead they, went to leads. And, eventually I'll still be able to buy the things I want. But for now, leads.
It's time and place for everything. So that little bit of that session with Talise kind of shifted your perspective.
Yeah, which is funny because it was so long ago, but I still remember it clear as day. And then when it happened, it was like, okay, this is a sign. Like, I'm not going to squander this away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have a good old night. We thought we were gonna get some 1942 or something.
Oh, no. I don't think these could take it anymore. And FFL gloves off here.
So, so we talked a little about the live dials. Like, have you picked up things that you're employing now directly into your process?
Yeah. So I kind of jump around between the Join Elite dials and another dial room, and I just to kind of hear different people talk at different times.
Yep.
Like there's some top producers in a different one that I kind of like to hear sometimes. So, but I do employ it, and it's important. Like some things that JP said, like you guys were talking about earlier. I was like, oh well, like that's a good way to put that. Just listening to you, the goat, get back on. No, I don't know, man. But yeah, I definitely think that everything, needs to be tweaked. Like nobody can learn everything and just be, the best. Like you're always learning.
Yeah.
So, scripts are just guidelines, and it's just, picking up different things. I'm reading more about sales. I have like sales books that I purchased, and I'm just trying to, yeah. And I'm telling you, man,
Wow.
this is Derek 2.0.2. So, but yeah, just learning everything from everywhere.
Let's expand on that. So what got you to buy books? What books are you reading?
What got me to buy books was everybody that was successful reading books. Okay. So, Alex Ramosi, he came out with an Instagram the other day. It was like 10 books you need to read. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, well, this guy is worth, many more zeros than I'm worth. So I'm going to listen to this guy. Cool dude as well. So I bought a couple of those.
Which one?
They're still in the way. Like,
which ones are you reading now?
Currently reading 0 to 6 Figure Agent Secrets by Cody Askins. That's my current one I'm reading now. And then I bought a mentalism book from a guy named Lanny Basham, which is all really about performance. So it's kind of like in Talisa's alley there. Okay. And then just kind of going from there. But nice. That was like one of my goals this year was to read a book every month. So that's
nice.
That'll be it.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's actually one of the most fun things to watch as Derek is picking things up, because we watch him struggle for this long. And the thing is, like, we knew that he was putting in work because he's been around us, and he's always like, he's picking our brains. We see him putting in work. He's purchasing leads, so he was doing all the right things. It just didn't click for him until he found, because getting back into running appointments. This is what I realized. Just because I know how to sell doesn't mean I'm going to sell.
Right.
Like, first of all, what you got to do, and you also have to be realistic with yourself. What are you going to commit to? What are you going to give up? What are you going to actually, like, what's your time? Like, how long are you going to do this for? What's your goals? All this other stuff. Clearly, you got to have a little bit of that. But then, okay, this is what I want. Here's why I'm doing it. So now I got to build a sustainable framework in which I know I can stick to. Because the thing is, it's not like, hey, I'm worth 25 hours today.
Yeah.
Because then, now you're setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah.
But build a sustainable framework that you can stick with. It's not going to be fun, especially at the beginning, until you build that habit. But then after that, then you have the sustainable framework. Then you got to build that discipline. So how do you get discipline? Just start doing it.
Yeah.
Just start doing it, and then you just keep going for a while. And after a while, before you know it, it's a habit.
And it feels weird not to. Like, even being here today, like, there's some times where I haven't been dialing, and it's just like weird almost not to be dialing.
Yep.
But obviously we're here talking.
Yeah.
There's been some other conversations. Yeah, it just feels weird. Like, if I were to sit at home and not dial, that'd be very weird.
Now you feel unproductive.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I give credit to you, because I opened up at 8. He came from San Diego, so he drove out here. He thought he was opening up.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but he got here by 8:15.
Yeah. I mean,
he was already
another
down.
thing that's changed is that now I'm waking up at 5. So, like, I used to be up at, I don't even know, like 7. I'd go to the gym, stroll in the office by 9, that kind of thing. So now it's 5, workout right then. So the full hour and a half, 2 hour workout is before 7:30, and then get 30 minutes to like eat, change, shower, whatever, and then on by 8.
Don't you feel so much more productive? Like, you have so much more time when you wake up early.
Yeah,
like
and it's just like, it's also cooler, like, being up before everybody else is up.
It
like,
really is cool.
Yeah, like everybody that lives in the apartment building is on their way to work, and I'm coming back from the gym, and they're all just like zombie mode still. Gotcha. But I don't know. Yeah.
That's awesome. What a transformation.
I know.
No, look at me,
man.
I'd like to thank Mallory.
That's good.
But it's been especially gratifying to watch Derek's improvement, because of the fact that we've seen the struggle. We saw that there's plenty of times in which he could have given up. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of times that John and I thought, why hasn't he given up? And there's almost moments like when you were struggling at certain points, I'm like, maybe I should just talk to him, see if like he should just go do something else. Because like, if you're not really going to get the type of results, not really put in the things that you need to put in to get what you need to get out of this, like what's really the point?
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, if you're committed to doing this, you should struggle through it definitely, because not everyone has the same learning curve. Everyone has to figure out their own path. But Derek's a testimony that anyone, if they're willing to commit to it, they can do some special things and build it up.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would do different, honestly, if you were struggling like that, is not like hope that the next sale would come before your bills are due. Like I was kind of going sale to sale.
Yeah.
I definitely would have gotten a second job. Like not quit this for sure. Like still dial, because where else can you dial for, or, talk to somebody for 20 minutes, help a family make the amount of money we make.
Right.
But definitely, have a source to fund more leads and make sure at least my bills are taken care of. That way I wasn't stressed. Like it was a stressful year and a half.
Yeah. That's been my point too. Like to have that uncomfortable conversation. If you have agents that are not really putting in the full-time effort and they're putting in part-time work, part-time effort, they're going to get below part-time results.
Yeah.
So they're better off having a full-time job. Dude, just do this on the weekends. Do this after you get off of work.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe do a 5 to 3, 8 to 4, work in the afternoon. As long as your bills are taken care of, you're not going to have that desperado feeling, right? Like you need that commission, you need that sale, and then bills are piling up.
Yep.
And that's generally how most people do things too. It's just like, you don't move until you're that uncomfortable.
Right.
Like you could be a little bit uncomfortable, but you're like, it sucks. What am I supposed to do? What can you do about it? And then you get to the point where you're so uncomfortable, then you start moving.
Yeah.
And then you move, and then you get your stuff together, you make a few sales, make a little bit of money, comfortable again.
Mm-hmm.
Then you sit around, you wait until you're uncomfortable again.
Yeah.
So, this is a huge part of accountability. This is a huge part of having a bigger picture understanding of what you want to do, because if these guys are keeping me accountable, Trent's keeping me accountable, everyone on the live dials is keeping me accountable. Like even if I made a sale my first presentation of the day, I'm not going to be like, happy hour, let's go do some day drinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, they're all on here. Like I can't punk out. Like I got to keep doing this.
Yep.
And one other thing I wanted to say, you're talking about, trying out different leads and Facebook leads. I'm sure you're going to get a ton of people asking you, hey, what type of leads, all this other stuff. Like, and here's the thing. I actually outwrote Derek in that same period of time. Just said that during the
He did.
But I'm joking with him because like that part really doesn't matter. Because I'm bringing that up as a point because look, you're going to be like, oh, that's Derek's silver bullet. Like we're all going to get that same thing. We're all going to get the same results.
Right.
But in reality, it's like, no, it's Derek's year and a half of struggles, that his discipline, that he continues to stick with it, his continue pursuit of seeking out knowledge and continue to work on his craft. And then like for me, I mean, this is really why it's not that vendor, because I bought some CRM leads. I tried a couple different new Facebook lead vendors, got varied results with all of them.
Yeah.
And then it's just, I got lucky.
Yeah.
I ran into a few sales that helped me out.
And then to credit that to Derek, within those year and a half leads, he was never against buying leads,
Yes.
right? He bought multiple things. You got into the mailers, you got into telesales, you got into mortgage mailers.
Or the IRS thought I was lying on my income because my expenses were more than my income. So leads were not the problem. Yeah.
Right. So you found a sweet spot now that's working for you.
Which, and like you said, people are going to hound for the Facebook stuff. Anybody can go on Facebook and look up every single ad posted on Facebook and copy it. Like that's just what you can do. And you can post your own leads. You can spend up to like $250 a day in the beginning, like it changes. And then once you have like a pattern with them, then they increase your ad spend. But anybody can do it.
Right. And
and do your own, make your own little corner of the market. Like I did vets, whatever, do whatever you'd like.
Business owners, whatever your niche is, whatever type of people that you have some experience in working with. But like, do you see all those ads? You see all these ads on TV. You see ads because we're a consumer-based economy.
Yeah.
You'll see a bunch of ads, but they don't care. You know why they don't care? Because it only matters if you do it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of people will not.
Yeah. And to add to that, you mentioned too, right? Your first time doing it, the first month, were you even or were you down?
Oh, I didn't make a profit the first 2 months, but it just takes time for the Facebook algorithm to learn. And I knew I jumped around so many times that I was like, okay, I'm staying here. I'm going to make this work no matter what. This is like the last shot. So, but yeah, two months in, And it like literally the first week of the third month, it finally clicked in, and yeah, it's moving.
Cool.
The train has started.
Well, you're a very qualified person to answer this question. So let me for the people out there, if they're struggling, what advice would you give them?
Ooh. Man, yeah, I was really afraid to look dumb for a long time, and jump on live dials, and I was like, okay, I've been here for a year and a half, 2 years, I should know how to do this, and that was embarrassing for me. Like I was just almost too much pride for my own good.
Yeah,
like just be humble about it, and obviously if you're not doing something right and someone else is, like, you have way more to learn. So just get out there and do it. Like, yeah, I watched too many videos, and I should have just done more and been way more focused with it.
Solid advice. So what's your daily schedule now?
Daily schedule is up at 5, gym shortly thereafter, back home at 7:15ish area, depending on if the pump is good, and then shower and eat, and then start dialing by 8. And then that's it. First appointment rolls around at 8:30. I don't like to start right with an appointment. So like my calendar's blocked off at 8.
Okay.
And then I'll go till whenever, eat some lunch, and go till 6. And then I'm working every other weekend now. But I probably should work every weekend.
You prefer?
But, I do have somebody else in my life. So
You prefer Saturday or Sundays?
I thought I liked Saturdays first, but I think I like Sundays now because I can book an appointment if they can't talk right there for the next day, which is kind of cool. So you walk into Monday with a bunch of appointments.
Okay.
So I kind of like that.
And you don't have to work the entire day on
no,
Saturday,
definitely not. Oh no, I only work till 2 or 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Because usually with your significant other, they might be sleeping in. They might start their day at 12, 1.
Yep.
Right. And you can do a lot of things from that 8 to 12, 8 to 1, especially if you're speaking to people, East Coast.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, and if you're not dialing or doing whatever, like do something. Like I'm doing a lot, like reading, and I'm, bettering myself. I'm watching videos as opposed to Netflix. I'm like, it's all about me now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. Like if you're self-employed, you're not employed unless you're making money. So
Yeah.
Otherwise you're unemployed.
Yeah, you're just unemployed. So do something that makes you money or makes you better at making money.
Right.
That's
like for me at the gym too, instead of sometimes listening to music, I'm listening to podcasts while you're lifting. So at least now you're doubling up.
Man, all power to you. I cannot do that.
What?
I don't know. Can't focus.
Needs to focus on his pump.
Yeah.
I prefer not to focus. More mind muscle connection.
Everyone's wired a bit differently. So
Yeah.
Final question for you, Derek.
Yes, sir.
Aside from money, what do you do this for?
I do this. Well, I guess it's kind of money related. I, do it for a future family, which I guess is money, but I do this, it's changed, but I actually really do like doing what we do, especially like it sucks now, like seeing, all the GoFundMe's and the street corner things. Like, we're doing it for money and we're doing it for ourselves and our families. But at the end of the day, really, we're doing it for other people. I do like that, as cheesy as that sounds, but kind of true. Like it sucks to see these families go through that.
Yeah.
That happened to my uncle. So
I remember you told me.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah.
So,
well, great stuff, Derek. And before I let you guys go, I heard this one quote this morning. It was Denzel Washington at the NAACP Image Award speech.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy. Keep striving. Never give up. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work. Right, so this is on tails of him receiving an award. He's quote unquote made it. Yeah. You have a moment when you should be celebrated and celebrating for yourself. But instead, this is the right perspective if you want to do some great things, because we all have a limited time on this earth, as we mentioned about our friend earlier. Mm-hmm. So you got to make the most of it. So no matter where you are in whatever stage you are in your career, if you're doing great, keep doing it. If you're not where you want to be, there's people like Derek that can show you and be testament that you can move past it. There's people that made mistakes that want to get back into it, like myself.
Right.
That I'm having fun with it. So, got guys that are consistent like John. We got tons of people that you can always point to. So wherever you are, make sure that you keep that right perspective. You're not done yet until you get to the place where you're ready to retire comfortably or do whatever you want with your time. But until then, whether it's good, whether it's bad, let's just keep working.
Mhm.
Let's just focus on what's important. And if you can't muster up that type of motivation yourself, or you can't keep yourself accountable, get around a community that can help you with that. So if you guys need any help, reach out to us. Derek, appreciate you coming on up and joining us.
Appreciate you.
And breaking my furniture.
And breaking all your stuff.
And appreciate John, appreciate Sam for engineering the show.
Get some red
Thank
jackets.
you to all you guys for hopping on. But let's go out there and be elite, guys.